Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is finally back to school season again, and after a long summer, I'm ready to get back into my university routine. In today's video, I will share how I prepare for a new academic year with hybrid classes. I know that some of you might still have your entire semester online, or you may have hybrid classes with a mixture of online and in-person, or maybe you have a close to normal semester ahead. Either way, I hope you can find some useful tips from this video to help you prepare for this new academic year. The very first thing I do before every academic year starts is to apply for student loans and scholarships. If you're starting uni this year, you should do this as soon as you have accepted your offer. I usually also register for my classes and pay the semester fee on the same day. I found that getting all the admin stuff out of the way as soon as possible will save me from a lot of stress later, for example in the first week of term. And if you have electives in the coming semester but you're unsure of what you want to take, you can just register for those you're considering and then drop the class once you've decided. The most important thing is that you pay the semester fee, since the student loans and scholarships is paid out to you once they have confirmed that you are registered at the university. If you're going into your first year of uni, then you probably have some sort of freshers week, usually 1 to 2 weeks before the beginning of term. It's definitely an important arena for new students to get to know people. And Freshers Week has gotten a bit better in terms of having events without drinking and having a lot of events during the day and not just in the evening, but you can definitely go to events without consuming alcohol if you want. No one cares, and it's more important that you join whatever events you think are fun and do things you're comfortable with. The whole point of Freshers Week is to get to know the people you're studying with and to make some new friends. Before the academic year starts, I like to declutter my computer. This means organizing files that I have just left in my download folder or on my desktop, deleting files I don't need, and archiving my folders from last semester in my university folder system. My folder system is really simple and it helps me stay organized throughout the academic year. I have a folder called University, which works as a home page, and the folder that I've pinned in my doc. Inside the university folder, I've created folders for each year, and I have 2 extra folders for miscellaneous uni-related things. Then inside each year folder, I keep folders for each class, and each specific class has its own folder system based on how many documents I need to keep there. If you want to set up this folder system, just create a university folder and a year folder, and place the folder where you want to keep it. I keep my university folder in my documents. Next, pin your university folder to the dock and select the options Show Folder and Show as Fan to get this set up. Lastly, create folders for each of your classes on your desktop so these are easily accessible when you study. For custom icons, copy a photo and click the folder and press Command I, then click the folder icon and paste your photo. You can also have this folder system if you're on Windows, and you can also have custom icons, so I've linked a page in the description that explains how to do that. When the course schedules are posted, I start by creating a rough plan for the semester ahead. I use Notion for this, and if you want to duplicate my setup, you can click the link in the description. I also have a video that explains my setup more in detail, and a new video for the new setup will be coming out soon. I also download my timetable in iCalendar to save my schedule so that it's synced across all of my devices. Google Calendar will also work if you use that instead. The nice thing about using the calendar on your phone is that you can just subscribe to your timetable and then it will automatically update if your university usually updates your calendar from week to week. When the course syllabus is posted, I always research what textbooks I need and don't need. In my personal experience, lecture slides and handouts are mostly sufficient to do well in most classes, and textbooks are more of a formality than a requirement. So unless you're explicitly told to have the textbook for the first lecture, wait a week or two to see if you actually need it instead of spending lots of money on a book that you won't open. You can also borrow books from the university library in the beginning if you're unsure, and you can find lots of useful information by Googling your classes or talking to people who have taken the class previously. If the class requires a textbook, I try to get a used or digital copy. You usually never need the newest edition of a book unless it's a completely new class and no one's had the textbook previously, and buying used is a lot more cheaper. If I find digital copies of my textbooks online, I usually use those since it is more convenient to carry around and I can save it on my computer and iPad for easy access and annotation. For stationery, I create a list of everything I need to buy for the upcoming academic year, depending on what classes I have. But first, I always go through my old notebooks and other stationery to see what I can continue to use for the coming semester. I always have a half-used or unused notebook from the previous academic year, and these are perfectly fine to use for this semester as well. If you're going into your first year, my biggest tip here is to get a good set of binders where you can store all of your old notes if you write on paper. Then it's a lot easier to reuse your notebooks for a future semester and you don't throw away a lot of unused paper. Usually I have most of what I need already, so most of the time I just purchase pen refills. This academic year, I'm doing hybrid and online learning, and when it comes to how to plan out your weekly studies, I recommend basing it around how your lectures and contact hours are set. When I plan out my week, I set aside time for readings and preparation before lectures. Then I work on assignments and projects during and after tutorial lessons, and then I do a weekly active recall when all contact hours are done for the week to check that I actually understand the material. It's also smart not to just work on one class per day, but rather space out your study sessions for a certain class throughout the week. This will help you maintain your focus while studying since you get to work on multiple topics and have variation in your day instead of focusing on one thing for many hours at a time. Keep in mind that your weekly study plan needs to be flexible. The study techniques that work for you in a certain class will probably change during the semester, and study techniques that work in one class may not work well in your other classes, and that's completely normal. From time to time, set aside a moment to reflect on your study techniques so you don't spend time on something that doesn't give you value. Maybe even change your technique from week to week depending on how you work best and what is most suitable for the work you're doing that particular week. When doing your weekly planning, also set aside time every week that isn't allocated to a specific class. No 2 weeks are exactly the same at university, and you don't necessarily spend the same amount of time on a certain class per week. Therefore, it's wise to spend your extra time on the most urgent tasks. Maybe you have an assignment due. And if some weeks are more quiet than others, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with using your extra hours for a well-deserved break. I personally prefer setting aside 10 minutes each evening to plan out the following day. This is useful for breaking down bigger tasks and prioritizing what you need to finish for the next day. Remember that not all days are going according to plan, and that is completely okay. A plan is not a strict schedule that you need to follow completely. It's more of an outline of what you want your day to look like. So don't try to micromanage every minute of your day. You will just find yourself more behind schedule than you like and very easily set unrealistic expectations for yourself. The main reason I like planning is for eliminating stress, not creating more stress. And that was how I prepare for a new academic year. I hope you found the tips helpful, and I wish you the best of luck on your new semester. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!